And we are live. I cannot wait for this live. These are the awkward couple moments as everybody comes on. But I am so excited to have you all on here tonight so that we can talk about this epic concert that we're doing. So come on as you all join here. So excited. I see Ellie's on. Ellie, we're going to request you. Or you can request me, whichever one happens first. And that's it. Okay. Hi to so many of you. It's terrific to see you. Not sure, Ellie, I sent you an invite. I'm not sure if you saw that. Let's see. Let's see if Ellie got my invite. Otherwise, he can shoot me an invite and we'll get him on as well. But this is going to be an epic live. I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually, before running Links and Schleimies Club full time, I actually was a features editor and interviewer. So for me, this is a lot of fun because I'm going to sit in this. Ellie, you made it.
How you doing?
Good, Baruch Hashem. You have no idea. I'm getting so many messages from people all afternoon, getting very excited for this. And I just started telling people is that I'm really excited because today I'm going to do very little talking, but I'm going to get to ask all the questions I've been wanting to ask, plus the ones people put in a box. So this is going to be lots and lots of fun, Be'ez Hashem. Ellie, if you can get maybe some more lighting in there, or maybe, I don't know, you're coming out a little fuzzy, people are saying.
I think, listen, as a producer, I don't want to put too much light on my face. You'll see how little sleep I had last night. But yeah, I could work on that.
Yeah, it could be that it's just that backlight the way it is. Just people were saying, oh, I think people are going to see you better now.
Better?
Perfect. For me, it's better. I don't know, the people who were commenting before, if you can comment again, if you saw it, there were some people who commented before. If you're able to see well now, then we're in good shape. So
yeah.
We said, this is not going to be a really long live. This is actually going to be, guys, whoever's on here, just know.
I think if we spend a good half hour on just the lighting, I think we'll get it.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to dive right into some of the questions that were sent. We're going to hit the ground running. I always like to respect the people who come on time to lives. And I'm like, no, we're going to get to the good stuff right away. But there's a lot of secrets that we're saving for the end, I think.
Yes.
Because we're fun like that. You know, we're just, I'm telling you that everything about this experience is going to be just a lot of fun. So first of all, Ellie, you know, this is very interesting. For me, I remember at least watching you on stage with YBC, and then all of a sudden you went into this productions role where you're completely backstage and, you know, doing all that stuff. And anybody who's worked with you can tell how many bajillion details you manage at one time, but I'm getting to see that firsthand now. So tell us a little bit about that process of like your transition, so to speak, and what your role entails.
Well, as you see, I'm furthering myself backstage, right? Like that was like the way we did it. We started off as a singer up front and center. And then went sort of like songwriter, producer, and then went to conducting. So all you saw was my back. And now I'm like totally backstage. Now you can't see me at all.
You moved all the way back there, huh?
That's it. And that's why I really don't do these lives so often, but I mean, you're going to see just throughout this live and then also just throughout this whole process for the viewers out there and also just in general that I am breaking down walls to anything for the Links Schleimies Club organization. I'm not just saying that as another client, as people might know. I Baruch Hashem throughout the year. There's so many different organizations I work for, and they're all amazing. I have this connection to you guys, the Links, and the whole everything that you do. And I'm just we'll do everything, and you'll see Hashem in the show, and the people that will watch it and see it. The plans that we have is just anything that you can imagine. We're just trying to make this the biggest, largest thing that I've ever done, and that's what's happening now. Right?
Wait, I just want to pause for a second and say the biggest, largest thing you've ever done, coming from a guy who's done pretty big things that was like an amazing statement and a half right there.
That is literally where my heart is. But that's where it is. I'm just, again, I'm not taking away from anything else that I've done in the past, but there's just, I feel that it's just time for everybody just to notice what you do and what the organization does. And Klal Yisrael benefits from it in such a way, and yet it's so under the radar, which is absolutely amazing. And that's the struggle that we're always gonna have. I'm the one that's gonna always try to get the publicity, and you're always one that's gonna shy away from the publicity, and yet raise the money for just to be able to help as many people as we can. And that's really, so I'm all in. I dove in head first, and I see as the process is going along, I just see how much love there is for this organization, and people are willing to do so many things that they weren't willing to do before for anybody else, and are willing to do it for you and for the organization, and for what you do. So this is going to be an incredible thing, which I'm really looking forward.
I'm really looking forward. And to that note, it was funny. Somebody just wrote that, obviously somebody coming from your page, they're like, what do you do? So let me just share that for a second.
Please.
For starters, I didn't even introduce myself, and I should have. Thank you for asking that question, whoever that was. So my name is Rivka Cohn, and I run an organization called Links and Shleimis Club for kids and teens who lost a parent. We provide all sorts of emotional support and some financial supports as well, really to be able to do whatever we can in a dignified form to provide the supports that are needed for kids and teens who lost a parent. I'm so grateful. I see so many people here commenting how much either they've benefited or they appreciate it or they've been involved. And really, it speaks so much to the heart of what we've tried to do. And part of, I think, what's unique about our partnership, Ellie, is that this, exactly what you were saying, is we're definitely going to be calling attention to the organization. But one of the questions somebody challenged me on was, how are you going to do this in line with your work of Dignity Matters, which has always been my hashtag about it. And as the concert evolves, you'll see more of that. But a big portion of it is just about the style with which Ellie runs a production is something that is so respectful and beautiful and dignified. And I think everybody's just going to be really proud to be aligned with something of that sort. And the way we're planning to do it is going to be completely incredible, blow people's minds away, and show them that we can raise all the funds without needing to stoop to any levels that would make anyone feel uncomfortable. So honestly, somebody asked me, actually, this was a question that came in just before, like, if somebody lost a parent, would they be comfortable in that audience? And I think that was our number one discussion when we first met, is that every person should be comfortable in this audience, whether in person or live stream, feeling like they are respected. For those of you that don't know my background, I lost my mother at the age of 9. I started this organization 16 years ago. I'm passionate about it. I want my 9-year-old self to be able to be watching this and not feel like squirming, like, this is weird, now everybody knows, kind of thing. So we're walking that tightrope. I think it's probably one of the greatest challenges in creative, minds working this, but creativity knows no limits.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm saying this now for me, again, every organization that I work for, the goal is not only to raise the funds, but also to shine a light on the organization. And it's easier said than done, because you always want to do it in a dignified manner, and you always want to do it like that. But obviously, you have to show what you do, and this is going to be a very unique experience because of how important it is for you and for the organization. So this is again, it's been amazing so far, and we got a couple months ahead, and we're gonna make this happen.
Why don't we jump into that? People keep asking, when is this concert going to be roughly? So I know we want to save that towards the end, but I keep seeing the question popping up in the box there. Guys, we're gonna let you know.
This is it right now. This is it. People want to know what it is. It's just me, and so if we're just going to be talking and about heart, and it's just going to be. It's I don't know why they're not donating at this point. I can't figure it out, but okay. But yeah, we're going to save that. We'll save that information
for that question for later on in this live. Okay, so tell us a little bit. Like everybody keeps asking, is this going to be a secret like task that people won't know who the the performers are. What's the game plan with this? People are asking right now, what's the lineup? So tell us about that.
Right. Okay. So basically, for those that don't know, so I produced the Hask concert for the last 6 years, and it was an incredible experience. One that I learned so much from, and really just an amazing organization. And for those that didn't buy tickets yet, you can still go to HaskConcert.com. You can still buy tickets. It's next Sunday, and I heard amazing things about the show. That being said, when my contract was up, I right away literally jumped to Lynx. Like it was something that was near and dear to my heart. It was something that I really wanted to sink my teeth in, so to speak, and to do it in the way that we did it. So now, as far as the lineup is concerned, so the last few years we did Hask, and the chairman of the board at the time was someone named Jeremy Strauss, and he brought up this idea, this thing of like, maybe we shouldn't mention the names of the singers, just because, I'm not sure what his thought process was at the time. For all I know, chairman of the board, probably financial, I don't know. But right away, it started like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a train wreck because we're going to not advertise. No one's going to show up. And, how's this going to work? And it ended up being...
previously on, I remember all the Hask ads, that was the prominent feature was who was singing, right? And this was like, I remember that first ad, like,
right.
And it had all those other singers, I think, as a border, right? And it was like,
right.
Question mark, like, who's coming? And I was like,
right. So I had to come up with an idea of how are we going to advertise a show that will still have people wanting to come and interested, whatever, at that time. That was Hask 30, and it was a big year, the 30th year. And so I thought of the idea of, just like you said, around the whole entire ad, just like who was at each show, like the headliners of each show. And we're like, Hask 1, 2, 3, 4, Marchem Day, Run for each, and all the way down to the bottom. And Hask 29 was this and this and this. And Hask 30, big question mark. And that sort of said, like, here's the Cheskes Kashrus. Here's what we've done. You know that this is going to be unbelievable. Trust me. It was the biggest success that they've ever had. At that point, that was the largest showing. And then Baruch Hashem, from there on, we just kept growing. They kept growing. And from then we realized, for me as just a person, that I love Jewish music, and I grew up just like tearing up every single possible trumpet line and who wrote this and who wrote that, and at 3 minutes and 15 seconds this happens, and choir lines. I was just that guy that was just always like studying the album cover and CDs. People don't know what that is, by the way. CD cover, album cover. That used to be a little thing that used to come with the music.
It's so funny that you're saying this, because obviously my world was a little bit of a different world, but I never performed or anything. But as a kid, I bought every single new tape. I'm sorry, I'm before CDs. I bought every single new tape, and in there, if you remember, it all was like bound together, right? And you had to pull
like an accordion.
out, and it was like one long accordion, right thing. And I would, like, with teeny letters, they'd have these fonts that were illegible, and you'd look at, like, who was the composer and who was the thing and who had the solos over here. Forget about it. It was like,
Yeah.
And then came the CDs, right? And then
I studied all that stuff, and I realized that, yes, producing a show, I think it was Hask 29 when I still listed the names, and I was so into, like, okay, what can I do to not scare anybody off, have a whole list of names, but like still have, and it still blocked me. Like it still blocked my creative process of, I wish I could bring this person in, but if I did, people won't understand what I'm going to do with this person. Like maybe they're not going to get, this whole vibe of what I'm going for. Because if this guy comes after this guy, and it was just, Hask 30 opened up the whole box. Like I was able to like really just paint a picture of what the show could be, of anybody that really loves Jewish music, that would just go from years ago and blend it into later on, and just have this whole entertainment value, and still showing them things that they've never seen before. I remember one of the years we did a tribute to Yishai Lapidot. Yishai Lapidot is, if most people for those that know who he is, will say, oh, he's the lead singer of Eif Simchas. And I remember at that time, people were like, it's been so many years, so if I would just wrote Yishai Lapidot on a poster, right away
Who
people
knew
would
him?
just assumed like what, like what? Now he's in Israel. He still sings all the time. He's a
Right.
really amazing guy. But people don't realize that, yeah, he was the lead singer of Simchas, but he was also this amazing composer for all these different amazing songs for like Dedi and Avram Fried and all these things. And I used that to my advantage. And I remember even I wanted him to do a duet with all of his hit songs with Mordechai Shapiro at the time. And I remember calling Mordechai Shapiro and I said, okay, it's a secret. You're going to be doing this duet. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be with Yishai Lapido. And even Mordechai Shapiro, who's might be 30 years old, he's like, oh, I don't really know if Simcha songs, and he seemed like down on it. And then I said, listen to this medley. Hu Yigale Sanu, V'Kayvei.
I
I started
remember
going through
I was
Maida Ani
shocked.
Avram Fried. I started going through all the songs that this guy wrote.
Wait, somebody posted Ale Katan. Ale Katan is also
Alek
yours?
Katan, yes, it was
Oh
part of
my
the medley.
gosh.
It was
I
part of
did
the medley.
not know that.
Right, and people did, and then he also wrote Am Yisrael from Shweki, Am Yisrael, he wrote all these hit songs, and he got up there with all the energy that he has from my Simchas, with
Oh,
Mordechai
yeah.
Shapiro, who's this like young, jumping, great singer, and it was just like an amazing 10-minute medley, and people were like, "Wow, that's him! That's it." So there's something like that you can do that everybody enjoyed in the room. And this opened up this whole thing of a creative
I think
process.
what you're also describing is, as a creative, you have a process, like you've painted a picture in your head where every piece is a puzzle piece that connects, right? It makes sense that this medley comes after that, and this singer will duet with that one, and it's going to bring out to the person sitting at home who's not planning the concert, who's simply looking at a one-dimensional flyer, and they're like, why in the world? What a strange mix of singers. No, not for me. And they turn the page without realizing the creative musical like angle to it, where you walk in. I mean, look, I've watched these things and I look at it afterwards and I'm like, this is a genius. Like, even when you're saying putting him with Mordechai Shapiro, would I have thought of that combination? Never. But when you're taking two people with such kind of energies to the stage, it's such a great match. And you're looking at it and you're like, wow. And this must be, this is amazing. So this was like a game changer for you. And is that
something that I really just look forward to these shows that I'm able to really do that, and the last few years, every year I did my best and I went through and always came up with something chiddush that the people they've never seen a show like that before, and tried to build a stage to something that was again unique and different and just larger than life. Last year was a huge challenge, and for those that don't really know, I mean, last year with all the COVID break, you couldn't get into places, you couldn't have people there, and it was just. But yet we still wanted to keep to a certain level, And again, Baruch Hashem, we went into American Dream at the last year, and we covered the ice, with
mind blowing.
It took us a couple of days, and the great people at American Dream, the amazing family, and they just all looked out for us, and we built this thing. We had to have a building department come down and weigh how much can go on the ice and what could whatever, but we wanted this larger than life space that we can build this beautiful thing and also bring in all these different singers. So now by us this year, it's the same concept in my mind where like, yeah, we could easily just go and bring a few different singers and put them on the poster, and yes, and they're all great and they might even be at the show. But in this way, we can just weave this, and I'm telling you, I just cannot wait to see and to hear afterwards. Just for me as a fan of Jewish music, what we have planned for this show. It's just going to be so incredible. I'm so excited, so excited.
Yeah. So somebody's asking, is it going to be in person or live? So first of all, just going back to something Ellie said, somebody else asked. They're like, "Oh, so you're in the planning?" No, I'm not. I am going to be as surprised as anybody else is in the audience. If anybody knows me here, I'm not a control freak. But within my own organization, for me to hand over the reins to somebody was a huge leap of faith. I have to tell you, Ellie, that my friends don't believe this, and they're here on this live, and I'm saying this publicly, guys. I legit handed over the reins and said, I've seen enough of your work to know that I'm stepping back and saying, we're going to watch this happen. And I'm so excited for that magic for me. Forget about everybody else in the audience. I'm so excited they'll be there with me. But I'm really excited to experience that magic where I'm going to look at the stage and say, you're kidding me. What did you pull off here? You know, so this was like magical.
And you have and you have plausible deniability. So anybody that comes over to you and says, hey, who's on the show? I can't say.
Do you know that I already had people within my family? They're like, it's not possible that you're not going to know. And I'm like, I promise. Now, they really know me. You have to understand that I plan weddings. I just have to make you laugh for a second. I've planned the family weddings. They get lists from me that says 3:55, you're in this room. 4:03, you're in that room. And our weddings run like clockwork, Leah and her. And one of the things that they all laughed and they said, it's not possible. You don't know, like you're not going to know the next step. I said, I'm really not. My job at this is really just going to be to have the nachas, to enjoy this piece, and to see how many people want to support the work that we do. I mean, really, that's just the name of the game here. So somebody's asking, is this going to be an in-person show? Oh, you want to see my reaction to the show? Yeah, we should have a live stream camera on my face. Probably not a good idea because I am such an open book. It's going to be all over my face. I will probably be I'll probably be crying half the time from excitement. But anyway, okay, so people are asking in person, live stream, what's the plan?
Right, okay, fine. So yes, the plan is that we are going to have Amir Tashem in person, and it's going to be live streamed. That we have to be able to the success that we had, and again in the past, what we've seen is that there's just a limited amount of people that can still whether afford the tickets. You know, we are as a fundraiser, we're trying to afford as much money as people to come in, and it's going to be very exclusive at the same time, open so that the whole world could actually watch it at then. So that's I guess the first breaking news. I guess right. We still haven't let anything know. So I guess everything's breaking news at this point.
Right. No, but I think a lot of people were confused about that. Like, where is it going? I think this also, the live stream also, to me, I have a lot of friends who live in Chicago, live in St. Louis, live in LA. You know, not everybody can just on a random day fly into New York for a concert. I mean, some people will, and some people have told me already that they will, and that's amazing, and I'm so excited. But many people can't. And right. I always appreciate the fact that there is opportunity for people to be able to join a live show. And there's also opportunity for people to be able to join from the comfort of their homes. I think that was the one positive thing that we got out of those, you know, that concert that you did last year, like sort of within this time, where we learned that you can do both. I mean, it's a job and a half, but on your end, I'm sure. And that was going to be actually one of my questions. What would you say was like a key difference for you, or was there no difference, knowing that you're live streaming this to lots and lots and lots more people than you probably ever performed for live?
Yeah, no, the pressure is definitely, there's a whole different pressure. There's no question about it. But then when everything goes well, you know, Amir Tashem and it will, you know, it's just a really an amazing thing seeing from people around the world, you know, commenting and in real time, you know, and just, it was just a really an incredible experience. Again, very hard, no question, definitely brings on a lot of pressure and but at the same time, there's this amazing thing that you're sharing this with everybody, and that everybody has that opportunity. And not every show, you know, we can't do that in every single show. Like, I just wanted to, again, I'm doing a few shows from now. I mean, as you know, from now just through Pesach alone is around 10 shows, whatever. But at the same time, this is the only one that we're doing that's live stream, that it's something that is on that level that we feel like it would just be so, we need to share it with everybody. We need to.
Right.
The show is called Heart. My God.
I was gonna say, right? And so there's a couple of things that, first of all, I keep seeing. There's so many people asking great questions. I'm gonna scroll up soon, and I'm gonna get to most of your questions. But there was something that related right here to what we were saying. Was, will it be able to be viewed after the show? I think from what we've discussed, we're not. Like, it's not like it's going to be on replay. This is the kind of thing that you're going to need to catch live. You're either going to be there in person with us in the audience, getting to see my reactions. Yep, you can be there to see that. Or you can come and watch the live stream, not
Right.
replay. I think that there's a certain energy that you don't get in a replay.
100%. People always want it. People, and I think in the past maybe we've like certain countries were like really like it's gonna be like 5 o'clock in the morning, like right. So like we try to work things out if we are able to, whatever. But that's not something that we're going to decide now anyway. But Emir Hashem, just keep us in your world, and we'll constantly try to
Yeah, I
give
was
you as
going to
much
say,
information
if
as
you
possible.
do nothing else while we're on this live, just be smart and follow both of us, because between the two of us, we're going to be throwing breadcrumbs every now and then. And if you're watching our stories and you're watching our posts, then you will get that info before other people do, which frankly will give you an in before other people grab those seats. So yeah, that might be a wise thing to do. Okay. Going back to some of the questions that people submitted. So, okay. People asking how much are the tickets, stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that we're going to discuss closer to the concert when we give you the details of where it's going to be, what kind of seating you can get, what kind of opportunities. And let me just tell you, Eli has shared with me just a quarter of a cent of his ideas. And let me just say, this is unlike anything I've ever heard of before. And I'm in the industry of organization, so I've heard about a lot of ideas out there, and these are fresh, these are new, these are experiences. We want to give more. I think, is that true, Eli? I think that one of the things that you strive with your concerts is to give more than just FYI. I want you to hear this. Do you hear this phone? Do you hear this phone? I'm in the Lynx office. This is a phone that gets the calls that come in at night, the important ones, gets forwarded to 2 different lines. Now, it got picked up by somebody. But I'm in this office, and it's 9 p.m. Now, we don't have a staff here at 9 p.m., but there are calls that get answered at different times of the day. And I just want people like, this was real. I didn't shut that phone, which I usually do before a live, but because Papa wanted it to ring during this live. So you can see this is real. This is happening. This is somebody having something that they need to discuss now and here. And Be'ez Hashem, hopefully the person who took that call will be able to help with whatever it is that they're going through right now. So this is what we're going to be supporting. Will it still be in the winter? Okay, Eli, should we, like, it's a half hour in. Do we tell people the date yet? Do we push it another while we go through the rest of these questions that I'm sitting with?
I think we need to. I think it's important because one thing that, again, I have not done something like this before. Usually it's like we do a very ad comes out and we do this. I also wanted to say before we end this is that it was a very important both to myself and to Lynx, the Shalom Club, that we gave Hask their time. Hask is doing a show next week on Sunday. So people are asking me, like, why, we know that you had a video out and you said that you're doing the show, like, where's the ads? Where's this? Where's that? And we're really trying to just be respectful because it's something that I, besides us being an amazing organization, I also literally gave my heart and soul to this organization for 6 years. I want to make sure they're as successful as possible. January 9th is their concert. You're going to start seeing everything from us, ads and press and all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Lined up.
If you follow me, you're going to get some reels also. If you follow Eli, you're not going to get reels.
Yeah. You're a lot better on that stuff than me, that's for sure. I'm just gonna repost.
Different strengths. I can't build a stage and get singers, so hey.
I'm a good reposter. I'm just gonna repost.
Keep reposting.
Yeah.
Shira, you're asking January 9th. January 9th is the Haas concert, I think, right? That's what we said. So that's what we're saying, is that their concert is then after that. We're gonna start really putting out our media full force, so that all of you will get to be part of this process. And there are going to be also some times where we're going to shoot out some questions to you, of just like inviting you for some collaborative ideas. So you definitely want to be following both of us to have some fun here. Okay, curious. Somebody asked, what's the difference between this and your Cholamite shows?
Oh, that's a very good question. Okay, so the Cholamite show is a very something that, really from your first question that you asked me in the beginning was like how I got where I am now, as far as, how that happened. And when I started doing the Yeshiva Boys Choir concerts every Cholamite, it became almost like a automatic thing, right? So, because Pesach, Yeshiva Boys Choir was doing the concert. And we had our decent-sized band. We always had some lights, some type of, digital stuff on the background, whatever it was. And we always had different artists, maybe, But the main thing was it had to be very affordable. We wanted to be Chol Hamoed. We wanted the families to come. And bottom line is that if the ticket prices were in the hundreds, thousands, or whatever it's going to be, then families would not be able to come to the show. So a Chol Hamoed show generally is a lot of fun, and just the ticket prices are usually much less, which means that the production might not be as large or as, again, larger than life. It's usually a really just nice put together show. Slowly, from doing all these Yeshiva Choir concerts, I was invited to produce different larger events, which not necessarily Yeshiva Choir wasn't a part of, just because of the experience that I had. And then that just kept Baruch Hashem blossoming to larger and larger and larger. Until we get to the largest, again, which is this heart concert in Mitzvah Hashem. So, so that's really the difference. The main difference is the amount of money that we can charge per ticket, and which means how much money we can actually spend on the actual concert, which again is this larger than life show. So that's the main difference.
Oh, so that was great, because that definitely answered a few people's questions about different points of difference. Okay, before we go on to another cool question, I just have to know this. What was like a crazy or fun story that you had that the audience was unaware of sitting in the audience, but you're like backstage or wherever you were and going like, oh my gosh?
Wow. Okay. I mean, there's been so many. I'm trying to think.
I was going to say, with
I'm not
producing.
I'm not sure why this one comes to mind, but we went to the concert, Yeshiva Boys Choir concert in it was in a college in Staten Island, for a local event. The drummer came and set up his drum set, and his pedal for his drums just broke. Now, I don't know if people realize what that means. That means like the main rhythm for the whole entire band to follow is the kick drum. It's the main bass. It's the main rhythm sound that brings everybody together. And his kick drum pedal broke, which means that we're not going to have this rhythm the whole entire show.
Oh my God.
And it was right before the show. It was we had rehearsal. It was amazing. They're calling out, okay, we're about to start the show. And the drummer looks at me, and at that time I was conducting the orchestra, so I was standing right in front of him, and I see the drummer's face. And I send the microphone to him like he was wearing a headset, and I was like, what's going on? And he picks up his broken pedal, and he goes, so, I mean, we got through the whole show. It was actually, what we ended up doing was, okay, now I'm going to get a little geeky on you, but basically there's another, one of the drums is called a floor tom, which is like a bigger drum. And if you tune it a certain way, you can sort of get that sound out of it. And this guy basically was playing with one hand what his foot should be doing, and playing with the other hand what his both hands should be doing. And we played the whole show like that, with his right hand playing basically what a kick drum should be doing, and his left hand was playing the rest of the kit. And it was
crazy.
Pretty crazy. I think by the time we got to intermission, I think we were able to get another pedal for him. But yeah. Oh, there's so many. Again, it's just really Siyata Shemaya, things that can go absolutely wrong, and Baruch Hashem, things somehow work itself out, and again, just for the audience to just appreciate and enjoy.
What you left out here, and what I know impressed me on our first meeting and stuff, guys, it seems like you just took it in stride. Like, hi, we're gonna just, we'll run a show. The show's got to go on, right?
Yeah, I mean, first, obviously, again, in these type of shows, again, people see the back of me, and my back looked really calm, and that was really good. And the front of me was like, I'm just going through my mind, like, okay, what is the solution? The drummer was like, okay, that's it. I'm just not playing. Like, that's the drummer to a drummer. Like, this is his instrument, and without a kick pedal, it's just not going to happen. And I actually, my first instrument is actually drums, and that was actually my first thing that came to mind. I was like, okay, Baruch Hashem, there's a floor tom. We're going to stall it for another 5 minutes. You're going to tune the floor tom to basically what a kick drum sounds like, and we're going to get through the show. And he's looking at me like, play with one hand? And I'm like, just do it. You got this. You got this. And he did it, and was pretty incredible.
That's incredible. That is incredible. So people are asking, where is the concert going to take place? They keep asking that. So just, we said at the beginning, we're not going to be sharing much today. As soon as the Haas concert's over, the ads will start coming out. They will have that information. You will be able to get that. Okay. Let's just check if we got through all the other questions. Again, like how much are the tickets, stuff like that. That will all be in Mitzvah Hashem on those ads. We answered the questions of live stream and stuff like that. Okay. And then let me just scroll up and see What else? Okay. Oh, so people just want to know, will it take place in the tri-state area? I think that much we can say is that it is on the East Coast. Yes, it's an East Coast concert. And like I said, I have friends who've already told me that they're planning to fly, not just because they like me, but because this is epic. Can we use Meiser? You have to ask your own Rav. I've been told yes. I know I've been told this when I bought concert tickets. So yeah, I imagine that. Okay, people are putting in various singer requests. You could definitely put in your requests. I'm not going to be able to help you with that.
But I do love hearing it. I really, I always put that out there.
The requests here, Ellie.
Well, I'm not seeing it now, but just send me, you know, comments.
You can DM Ellie with requests. I think also, Ellie, we had spoken about this one time, but I'm planning to put up on stories one day, like, who's your favorite singer? Name it. Who would you love to see? Who would you go watch in a show? It's obviously important to us. You are our audience, and we love your input. So that's
favorite song. Who would you love to see duets with? Like, I love to hear your comments. There's
you know what? Sometimes also it's not so much about necessarily that person's idea, but that person's idea can spark another idea that sometimes
it's happened. It's happened. And
will
I
it
would
still
love
be in the winter? Okay, Ellie, spill it. Tell them.
Okay, so just to call a close to this great live, and again, because this is new for me, doing this type of thing, but we plan on doing this every few weeks, or as we get closer, even shorter together.
By the way, guys, I'm sorry, I'm just pausing for a second and saying that there were a few people who have worked with you before who said, he's doing what? I said, he's going on live with me tonight, and they're like, oh, enjoy it. It's like probably the first and last. And I'm like, no, actually it's not. And I think that there's a lot of changes for both of us. I'm letting go and you're coming on a live. So
that's it. I'm doing the live. I'm doing the live thing. And I think next time I'm gonna get the lighting. I see, like, got to get the lighting right. We'll get it. We'll get it perfect. I'll get makeup done.
We'll make it from Amazon.
There you go. There you go. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But anyway, so yeah. So let's to end it. So the date, Emet Hashem, is March 12th. March 12th. It's a Matzah Shabbos.
What a relief it is when you say it, and I'm like, we got that out there. We put that out there.
It's a Matzah Shabbos. People don't realize what that means, how on a technical level, what that means for me and for us. But we just wanted it to be in a time where really, especially with all the chachasnas going on Sundays and things that are happening, where this is a first for a major production, to have something on a Matzah Shabbos.
I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to remember. What did we say it was in the Hebrew date? Somebody just asked. I'm trying to remember in the context of Purim. My brain is blank.
Right. Yeah, so I think it's the...
I think it's Matzah Shabbos Zachar, right? It's
the Matzah Shabbos.
Before Purim. That's such a great time. Everybody's in this mood for...
Right, so it's the Matzah Shabbos before Purim. It's also the Matzah Shabbos that before we change the clock. It's happening, changing the clock after the show. They might be changing it. So it's still early. Shabbos is the last Shabbos. The Shabbos ends early. Plenty of time for everything. Yeah. And I'm just going to spend Shabbos in the theater, and I'll be fine. I'll be great.
Something like that,
nice pillow in the drum, and we'll just sleep there, and I'm sure it'll be amazing, Rich Hashem. But anyway, so that's how we'll end this time. Yeah. But so everybody, just mark your calendars now.
Such a great fun live. I'm gonna save it on my page. You'll be able to share it with people who missed it then, but you won't be able to share the concert if you miss it then. So you'll just have to follow both of us, get as many details. This is going to be one thing we do know is that it's still going to be an extremely limited audience live, and Emet Hashem, for the rest of you, it will be available live stream. So excited. This was so fun. Thank you for all your support. So many nice comments. I just have to say that I noticed everything. I know I didn't read every comment aloud, but I have to say that it means the world to me is that so many people are excited and supportive, and I've gotten so many messages, and I'm really excited to go on this journey with you. I mean, let me just say this, whatever I've done until now, people know this, is that I'm an open book, and they follow the journey, and they've been part of the journey and joined me on so many different things. So I'm really, really, really excited. Thank you for joining us, Ellie. I went 8 minutes overtime, but we got it.
Yes.
And I think we got a lot of questions covered, and we put out that date.
Emet Hashem, looking forward. Mark your calendars. It's going to be really something special. Emet Hashem.
Amen. Thanks a million for coming on. Take care, everybody. Good night.